Today, we're talking about Ollie. Alright, not that Ollie. The first time we ever met, or even realized the existence of that mysterious voice on the other end of the phone, aka Ollie, was back in Chapter 3.
It's me again, Ollie. Cool place, right? The kids used to live here. Now look at it. Anyways, do you see that statue in the middle of the room?
Throughout Chapter 3, Ollie was one of the most important characters for us. His tips and hints made surviving a whole lot easier.
Well, head back out, and you should find a door just to the left of the cable car you took down here. Okay, I sent you another key. It's under the statue. Use it to get into Home Sweet Home. Then once you're inside, find the building's backup generator. Good luck!
But despite all the theories and mysteries surrounding this character, ones that popped up right after Chapter 3 dropped, opinions were divided. Some were dead sure Ollie was actually the prototype, while others swore he was a real person, just like us, trying to escape Playtime Co. But then Chapter 4 hit us with the brutal truth, one that completely flipped the story on its head.
What did you do with Ollie?
I'm right here, Poppy. For you. I'll always be here.
Right now, we know that Ollie is the prototype, but that raises an even bigger question. What the hell really happened to the real Ollie? Is he still alive? And who actually is he? I've got two possible theories where Ollie survived and is still somewhere inside Playtime Co. First, let's break down the theory that directly ties him to the prototype and Dr. Sawyer. We already know the prototype has a freakishly good ability to mimic voices. Hell, we saw it firsthand during our first encounter with Harley Sawyer.
Log code 24459. In relation, experiment 1006. The prototype. Stubborn as he is, and always silent with each passing session, I'm still uncovering fresh data nonetheless. Today's discovery.
Ready to talk now, are you? I possess
A question.
Go ahead.
Do you feel anything?
This question referred to once exactly.
You stick us.
Feed us.
Tear up flesh.
Do you feel it? There's a secret inside you, 1006. Valuable beyond all measure.
Even this theory isn't as simple as it seems. Yeah, the prototype is a genius-level monster with insane intelligence and all sorts of unnatural abilities, but his voice mimicry? That comes with a catch. For the prototype to steal someone's voice, he has to be around them for a long time. Meaning, if he really was the one on the other end of the phone the whole time, then he definitely knew Ollie and spent a lot of time with him. A perfect example? Theodore. This kid eventually became Catnap, one of the prototype's servants. But before that, he saw the prototype every single day, talked to him, interacted with him. This just proves again that the prototype is a master manipulator. He knows exactly how to win people over before using them for his own plans. And we can't forget about the Poppy doll itself, created from the remains of multiple children through the Bigger Bodies initiative, which also involved using human parts in experiments. We're not gonna dive into the whole theory that Elliot Ludwig is the prototype and that he's just trying to take care of his daughter Poppy, who's now a doll made from his daughter's remains and all that, cause honestly, that doesn't really matter for today's discussion. What does make sense, though, is the theory that Ollie was one of Sawyer's victims in the Bigger Bodies initiative. We know for a fact that the prototype and Ollie talked for a long time, but now the prototype is saying that Ollie was around a very, very long time ago. Meaning, the prototype might have taken Ollie's voice for his own purposes, then threw him into an experiment. If that's true, there's a real chance we'll run into Ollie in Chapter 5, but as a Bigger Bodies experiment. And that's where things get really interesting. This theory actually makes a lot of sense when you look at what happened at the end of Chapter 4. We lost everyone who could have helped us. Doughy? Dead by our own hands. Poppy? Freaked out and ran away. Kissy? At best, she lost an arm, and at worst, she didn't make it. Either way, she's in no condition to help us. So, if there was ever a perfect time to run into the real Ollie as a bigger bodies experiment, it's now. And if we want to prove that it was actually the prototype on the phone this whole time, we just got to listen to one of the VHS tapes.
Poppy? Are you there?
Yes. Yes, I'm here.
When you didn't answer, are you feeling okay?
I'm okay. Really.
Did the bad men hurt you?
There's nothing more they can do to hurt me. Nothing more than what they've already done.
Something's bothering you, Poppy. Something you need to talk about?
I don't need anything tonight. Ollie, I just want to sleep.
I think there's more to this. More that you're not telling me.
There's not.
I know what you're doing, Poppy. Talking like that. Don't think for a second that I believe it. Just tell me what you're feeling. Please, just talk to me honestly.
We hear how curious Ollie is, how he's desperate to learn more. And honestly, it almost feels like this whole conversation was never about helping us. It was just the prototype fishing for as much info on Poppy as possible. But here's the thing, there are a few inconsistencies in this theory that make me think we might have actually been talking to the real Ollie all along. First off, listen to this.
It's me again. It seems like Poppy explained everything now, and she turned on the dome's backup power. Now the plan from here is pretty simple. Turn on the generator, leave, and plug the school's power cord into the center. Be careful in there. I don't think I can connect to you on that side of the dome.
Now compare it to how the prototype mimics voices.
You don't need to pretend anymore.
You don't need to play at being stronger than you are.
You can come home.
How much do you know?
Everything. Let me tell you what comes next.
I'm going to come up there, and I'm going to find you.
Your collaborators, the few you have left, they will be dealt with.
Yeah, maybe this is a bit of a reach, but hear me out. Ollie's voice just feels too structured, too clear, compared to how the prototype usually talks. And based on that, plus something else we'll get into in a second, I really think we might have been talking to the real Ollie this whole time. The only question is, what was his endgame? In previous part of the video, we already figured out that the prototype spent a lot of time talking to Ollie. And if we draw a parallel with Catnap, who, let's not forget, used to be an orphan before the prototype finally got in his head and turned him into what he is now, then it's totally possible the same thing happened to Ollie. And considering his kid-like voice, we know Ollie wasn't some Playtime co-employee. There's like a 99% chance he was one of the orphans living at the dormitory. So the idea that the prototype manipulated him into taking his side, yeah, that's not a stretch at all. And if that wasn't enough, there's actually something Poppy said during our convo that strongly hints Ollie might still be alive.
The orphans weren't killed during the hour of Joey. They were taken. They're below, in the labs. The prototype's home. They are alive, but sleeping. They're with him. And he knows we're here. So, if we're going to free them and stop the prototype, we need to plan for both at the same time. The red smoke he redirected from Playcare? It's an accelerant. All it needs is high pressure and a little spark, and it ignites. The plan is this. We'll fill the foundation with smoke and line it with old mining charges. Then once you, me, and Kissy have freed the orphans, our friends here will blow this place sky high.
Yo, If you really think about it, during the Hour of Joy, which kicked off all the horror at playtime, only the staff got taken out, while all the orphans stayed alive. Well, at least we never saw the risen monsters mess with any kids. So yeah, Poppy might be right after all. Ollie could be chilling in the prototype's lab, just in deep sleep. Makes you think back to Chapter 3, where we first met Ollie, right? So, we've looked at a few theories, and in any of them, Ollie's alive. Either he's now part of the BB experiment, or he's working for the prototype, and all these mind games are just a big illusion of friendship for the prototype's benefit. Or maybe Ollie's just knocked out cold, and the prototype straight up stole his voice and learned to mimic it perfectly. I want to know which theory you guys are leaning towards. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Of course, we can't rule out that Ollie might be dead by now, and the prototype's just using his voice. But we haven't heard anything confirming that. We just know Ollie was there a long time ago, but nothing's been said about him being dead, so I'm not buying that theory. Anyway, that's it for today's video. Catch you all in the next one.